Hello, welcome to this video. I talk about the immunity. Let's start with seeing the concept of immunity. What is immunity? Immunity, this is the ability of body to resist certain diseases and the infections. So any diseases or infections that can lead to illness to the body, the ability to resist such kind of situations is what is called the immunity. So immunity can also be defined as the ability of the body to defend itself against various infectious agents, foreign cells, and even abnormal cells such as these cancer cells. So the scientific study of immune system is called the immunology. Now let's see the types of immunity. Basically, there are two main types of immunity. The first one is natural immunity. The second one is artificial immunity. Starting with the natural immunity. Natural immunity, this is the type of immunity which an individual is born with. So it's basically naturally as a person obtains it when he or she is born. So natural immunity can also be divided into two categories, which are natural passive immunity and the natural active immunity. So let's see the natural active immunity. This natural active immunity, this is the category of natural immunity in which this immunity develops in a body after a natural infection. So after certain infection, the antibodies are produced in the body, whereby these antibodies normally reside in the blood or in the other parts of the body. So if the body can make more antibodies whenever the pathogens tries to attack the body again. So that's how the natural active immunity is obtained. Moving on, the natural passive immunity. This is the type of natural immunity which is achieved during development of a fetus, where the antibodies pass from the mother to the fetus through the placenta or through the mother's milk after the baby is born. Now, these antibodies disappear from the infant after maybe a few months after birth. So, basically, those are the main two categories of natural immunity. Moving on, let's see the artificial artificial immunity. When you talk about the artificial immunity, this is the type of immunity which an individual acquires it during his or her lifetime. So it is obtained artificially. So there are main two types of artificial immunity. Basically, the first one is the artificial active immunity, and the second one is active passive immunity. So let's start with the active artificial immunity. This is the immunity which is introduced in the body by immunization. So immunization, or can also be called as vaccination, the process of introducing a vaccine into the body of an animal in order to increase its ability to produce antibodies. Now, these antibodies protect the body if a person he or she is exposed to actual diseases. So this is how the artificial active immunity can be introduced in the body. Moving on, the artificial passive immunity, this is the type of immunity that involves the injection of serum into the body of an organism. This serum contains the antibodies that have been formed in another person or animal. Then it provides the immediate protection from an infection and it lasts for weeks or months. And after that period, there are no antibodies left in the body, and therefore there is no immunity. So basically, active passive immunity is very temporary. Moving on, let's see the factors which affect body immunity. Now, these are the factors that can lead the declining of the body immunity. The first one is alcohol and other toxic drugs. The alcohol and other toxic drugs, they alter the normal functioning of the body, makes the body weak, and such can simply also affect the body immunity. The second one is the lack of immunization. Immunization, this is simply lack of vaccination, whereby a person is not vaccinated to certain kind of infections or diseases. So, in fact, if a person if he or she encounters such kind of infection, he can be in a serious problem as he or she can get this kind of disease because the body immunity is low. The third one is that lack of proper balanced diet. As we know that proper diet provides the necessary nutrients for the body. For example, increases the production of these uh, the white blood cells. So if there is a lack of proper balanced diet, means that the production of the white blood cells will be low. So in such a, the body immunity will be low. So that's how the lack of proper balanced diet affects the body immunity. The other factor is the diseases and infections. Let's say example hereditary diseases. These are diseases that can be inherited from past generation to the current generation. So such diseases can cause a person to be weak and the body immunity to not fight against such kind of disease because they are hereditary. And the other diseases also like this disease caused by virus, example HIV AIDS. Also, the body immunity cannot fight such kind of diseases. So temporarily or actually it affects the body immunity or it lowers the body immunity. The last point, heredity. Some body immunity gets to be weak because of inheriting some kinds of uh, maybe inefficiencies or uh, problems that can be inherited from past generations. Example, maybe sickle cell anemia uh, and the others. So specifically, it affects the body immunity to fight against such kind of situations. So I hope it's clear, guys. Thank you for listening. So please stay tuned to the other videos.